anytime, any day. Why not right now? Stop looking up to your boss and start being your own boss. Don't work for paychecks. Work for dreams with no regrets. This is Cracking the Entrepreneur Code. If you have the passion, we'll create the blueprint. Now, your host. You know him from his 7 tips to build the business you always wanted, and now you're about to hear a lot more. Jack H.M. Wong.
Welcome to another episode of Cracking the Entrepreneur Code. I'm your host, Jack here. And today I've got a very different guest because she is going to share with us how we can gain more exposure. I mean, entrepreneurs will need exposure, publicity, so this is the expert. Her name is Jill Lublin. She is an international speaker on topics of radical influence, publicity, networking, kindness, and referrals. She is an author of 4 best-selling books, including Get Noticed, Get Referrals, Guerrilla Publicity, Networking Magic, and her latest book, The Profit of Kindness. For rest, I will let Jill introduce herself, okay? So Jill, thank you for agreeing to be on my show. How are you today?
Thank you. I am doing so great and delighted to be here with you and all your listeners.
Yes, thank you. So we're going straight to the discussion about publicity. You are actually the expert in creating publicity for entrepreneurs. Can you share with my audience a little bit more about yourself and why did you decide to do what you do right now?
Yes, well, I love what I do, and I actually found that I was good at it because I started in the music business, and I started with very creative musicians, and I worked for multiple independent record labels as a director of promotion and publicity. And then I started my own public relations agency and worked with all kinds of people, and then started working more with business people, and everyone from, entrepreneurs, speakers, consultants, authors, and independent service providers, everything in all kinds of industries. And I just love it. And then I branched into also helping people get book deals. Like, a lot of people have books in their heart and they want to get it out. Or a lot of people have already written books. So I go to multiple international book fairs to help people get foreign rights deals.
It seems that you have lots of things you can offer to the audiences. Interesting. So how long have you been doing this? Because from your profile, it seems that you have been doing this for a very long time.
Yes, Hopefully not so long, but yes, I have actually been working with people for 24 years now, and I just love it. And one of the things, particularly for entrepreneurs, that I decided was really important, because a lot of them couldn't afford my publicity agency fees, so I started teaching what I call Publicity Crash Courses, and now I do them as live Zoom events, so I can I can work with people all over the world on Zoom, and we do them as Zoom classes now, and as well as live events, so for people who want to travel. But I've been loving, because I really get to serve people all over the world. I'm a very international spirit, and for me, that's important.
That's a very great decision, because the people in Asia typically would give you, perhaps 50-60% of the people will say that, Jill, I love your course, but it's too long to travel to the States. It doesn't make sense. So having a course online is a very, very wise deal. But I want to go into this publicity because based on my guess I had so far in the last 2 months, you are the only one who talk about publicity, because the rest will be looking into inner power, mindset, some are sales. You are the publicity go-to guy. What is publicity and why is it so important to entrepreneurs?
Yes, well, a couple of reasons. Number one, what's so key is that you must get your message right. And part of getting your message right is expanding who you are and, as I like to say, why people should care. So it's really all about your message. And as a message provider in the marketplace, it's important that you take a step and create visibility without spending a fortune. So part of when I work with people, and entrepreneurs in particular, have an issue around getting a message right that's focused and simple. So we take a step out, we create the solution to the problem. I'd like to ask you to ask yourself, what is the problem today? Not what do you do? See, that's the distinction. It's about what's the problem out there? Because when your clients understand what the issue is and your prospects, then we can go somewhere. Then the next step of that is that you provide solutions and you give real solutions to people, things that they can do simply, easily, and quickly so that publicity gets happening. And that's a great first start that's really important for building powerful publicity. And you know, Jack, the thing I want people to understand about the power of publicity is how much it really helps people to focus on building credibility, building visibility, building exposure in the marketplace, building what I like to call the I've heard of him somewhere syndrome, building the trust. And basically it creates prospects and connects you to clients in ways that are far more, frankly, accessible and easy without spending a fortune.
It seems that all these are linked because when people said, like my group of people always says, I can't find clients. I have my wisdom to share, but you know what? I do not know how to find these clients. I mean, the thing is that if the clients do not even know who you are, where you exist, then obviously then you would not have any clients. So to me, having a brand, having publicity is pretty essential. Just now you're running a course called Publicity Crash Course. And you also have a book called Guerrilla Publicity. So can you share with us, like, what is your guerrilla publicity versus the traditional concept of publicity?
Yeah, sure. So guerrilla publicity is about creating that kind of visibility in simple, easy ways by touching the marketplace with real-world what you can do for them, giving them value and benefit. So in my publicity course, for instance, we make sure your message is very powerful and connects to the audience. We create a bio. You always have to have a good bio, short bio. People have biographies that are too long. So I think that's really important. Thirdly, it's really about, I have this wonderful announcement strategy that goes out every 60 days in wherever you live in the world. And it starts putting your name out there, simple and easy without spending a fortune. So that's what guerrilla publicity is. I have templates for everything. So it's simple and you don't have to think about it and you don't have to recreate it all the time. So that's really important.
Yeah, you know what? Imagine I haven't done any research on you. Just based on what you share with us, I'm already interested. I mean, pretending I do not have a message, I do not know how to do it. What you said, Jill, it sounds easy to me. And
well, thank you. That's my point. I want to make it easy. This is the whole point. That publicity is so important for entrepreneurs, all the people you serve. It is, and your show is such a great service to them because really, as an entrepreneur, whether you're just starting or whether you've already been in business for a little bit of time, the truth is you're always creating visibility out in your community, out in the world, out with your target prospects. And so to do it right, to do it the right way and to understand simple things to do without spending a fortune makes a huge difference.
Yeah, I know because I just shared with you an example. I know one thing about in Asia, most entrepreneurs are very interested in this thing called video marketing, Facebook marketing. And I know that to do video, to do Facebook marketing, yes, they are powerful, but they cost a lot of money as well if you want to do it very professionally. Whereas for me, I decided to do podcasts because I'm not a cheapskate. However, I do know that using a podcast, I'm able to run it a lot more cost effective and can reach out to a lot more people easily. So I'm thinking along the line. That's how we are talking to each other right now. So this is the reason why I'm doing podcast. And a lot of Asians do not know this. And typically, most people don't even think about doing podcasting. I'm happening to be the only guy in my circle who had a podcast show. So that is how amazing this Asian mindset is. So Jill, if you were to say that your course is easy to take, the Asian's mindset would be, hey Jill, you are serving primarily the people from the other part of the world, the Asian mindset, the Asian culture, and you don't know what we do. Would what you teach be able to help the entrepreneurs in Asia?
Absolutely. Because what I'm talking about, what I'm focused on is the power of your message. And that is an international conversation. And frankly, I've traveled throughout Asia and I totally understand the mindset. And yes, it's a little bit, and in fact, even more important because realistically, and I've worked numbers of times with people from all parts of the world, frankly, including many parts of Asia. And here's what what I know and understand. In the Asian culture, it is a little bit more, you do not brag about yourself and promote yourself as much, very much. And I know that, and I respect and understand that. Same thing when I was traveling throughout Australia. It was the same issue, right? I did a whole tour in my publicity course in Asia and New Zealand, and it's the same issue.
How do you feel when you first learned this is the culture of Asia? How did you feel?
Well, the truth is I understand it, and I think that it's okay to start where you start. But even understanding how to explain your message in a very simple way to people is actually quite beneficial. I'm talking about the beneficial results of what happens here is that you're able to communicate your message in simple ways. That's really what I'm teaching in my publicity course, how to communicate your message in simple ways that most people could understand. So it doesn't have to be over promoting. It's just about giving good definition for your business so that you can have more business.
Right. That's good to know. Like I'm asking because entrepreneurs' mindset is, again, the Asian mindset is that it's not good to actually ask people because by asking people for help, that makes me look stupid. But I learned that as an entrepreneur, I have to make a request when I feel that there's a need to do. So Jill, I'm making a request. Knowing that you are actually teaching this course, not for free. However, I want to just ask, is there one or two very easy techniques you are willing to share with the audiences that can help them understand these strategies can be implemented very easily and straight away they can see results in the business?
Absolutely. And by the way, remind me at the end because I want to give your listeners a great way to get a wonderful discount on my course.
Oh, okay. I'll wait for that. I'll remind you definitely. This is an Asian culture, by the way.
Yes, of course. I understand. That's where I learned how to negotiate.
Okay. Yes, please go ahead.
Oh, absolutely. So two great things I want to suggest.
Sure.
One is, it was what I started with in the beginning. I want you to write this question out. The problem today is, and then I want you to fill in a blank. Like in my case, I would say the problem today is 4 out of 5 entrepreneurs will go out of business because they have no clue how to create publicity without spending a fortune. Okay. Really simple, by the way, you notice.
Yeah.
And then I want you to give a second tip, 3 solutions. Keep it in the present, keep it simple. So right now I'm about to give you 3 really great publicity tips that literally are worth probably over $5,000. Okay, here they are. This is in my message, okay? This is in my initial message. Then I say, if you want to create guerrilla publicity, you've got to, number 1, create your ooh-ah factor. Number 2, create the I've heard of you somewhere syndrome. And number 3, focus on creating networking magic and show up in your community at least twice a month for name and face recognition. And that, Jack, is my message. It's real simple, it's real easy, and it's literally thousands of dollars of PR advice. That's what I'm talking about.
That sounds very, very true and very easy. And again, seems that this interview, we are all talking about the Asian thing, but if you don't mind, I'll just ask you one more thing about what probably the Asian people will ask. So, Jill, can you share with us any success story where you work with 1 or 2 Asian clients, if you have, and how do you help them to apply this technique and create results?
Absolutely. So let me tell you about my client, Ryan Yi.
Oh, okay.
He is Asian American. He does live in the United States, and he's Chinese. And he started an instructional design company. Now, I will tell you that the truth is, it was so cute because I'm like, Ryan, I don't know what that is because I have to understand my client, of course.
Yes.
And so he told me, and then I thought, Ryan, no offense, that's not going to get you the kind of publicity and clients that I think you really want. So we recreated his story from his personal story. See, a lot of times I'm listening from my client's personal story. What's in their personal story? In his personal story, he had a pregnant wife with their 3rd child on the way. He had just bought a new house. He had just been downsized from a corporate job. I'm like, now that's an interesting story.
Yes, indeed.
So I made Ryan into what I call a virtual office warrior. And the acronym for virtual office warrior is VOW. Ryan took a vow.
Vow.
Yes,
V-O-W.
vow.
Yep.
He took a vow never to work in an office again.
Wow, how nice.
Yes, and
It's
that story got him into the front page of the Business Times. That story got him into Entrepreneur Magazine, which of course would be a goal of any of your listeners.
Of course.
That story got him into, you'll love this, the Chinese Times. Because we translated his article into Chinese and put it into the Chinese Times. And do you know that one article in the Chinese Times, check this out, got him $7,000 worth of business. One article equaled $7,000 US worth of business.
Amazing.
Isn't that wonderful?
It's wonderful. That's a wow.
That's the power.
That's a
exactly.
wow. Yes.
And that's the power of publicity.
And
That's
I
the
just
power
wonder,
of publicity.
like, is that a gift that you have? Because, like, I do not know in my circle whether there are any people who can do what you do. It sounds so simple to you. I mean, it sounds so simple for me to hear what you do. But I'm sure that because you have done it for 20 odd years, it is like you mastered the skills for so long that sounds easy to you. My question is that, like, for people who want to find out more about what you do, when they can look for you. And before that, I remember just now, you said that you were going to give us something special. For this special thing first, before we ask you where we can find you, we can look for
Absolutely. You can work with me on my publicity course. And it's on Zoom, so it doesn't matter where you live in the world. And we are going to do 4 templates that you will have forever in the course of your business for publicity. And actually, you're going to have my brain on your actual documents that you do that will prepare you for the media, including your message, your bio, and an announcement. And we're going to do all of those. I'm going to be interactive, working with you live on Zoom in an intimate environment, meaning there's not a lot of people. So normally, if you go to publicitycrashcourse.com, you will see it's $12.97. And if you enter the code, I'm going to give you a really good one. I'm going to give you my best one, Jack.
Oh, okay,
if you enter the code, you bet. If you enter the code SUPERDUPER, SUPER, DUPER, Super Duper, I'm going to give you the whole course for $4.97, which is an amazing offer for you. Okay, so that's a great deal. And then I'd love to be able to serve you or any of your listeners who's willing to take, because it's important to take that first next step to get your name out there. And we're going to do very practical pieces to do that for all of you. Now, for any of you who'd like to work with me in any other way, consulting or anything that best serves you, if you have a book idea in your mind or you have a book that you'd like to get translated internationally, talk to me. You can go visit my website, JillLublin.com, or you can just email us support@JillLublin.com. So it'd be great. You can Skype me, whatever works for you that's best and easy. I'd love to hear from you and love to see how I might support you.
Thank you for this gift. Wonderful. I definitely will share with my team, my group, and my circle of people and see how many people are prepared to get known. Because one of the favorite quotes, like in every podcast shows, I always ask the guests one question. That is, give me your number one favorite quote that you can share with my audiences. And you know what? You gave me this one. It's not who you know, it's who knows you. Can you help us by summarize just one or two lines about the significance of this quote?
Absolutely. Because what's true is that in your publicity, as you're getting your name out into the world, what's important is that people do know your name. What's important is that your business, whether you're a one-person business, whether you're starting, whether you've been in business for a long time, a short time, it doesn't matter. People need to know who you are. You need to be visible. And so when I say it's who knows you, right? So when you walk into a room, when you walk into a business meeting, I want people to say, you know, Jack, I call it the I've heard of him somewhere syndrome I was mentioning earlier.
That's what I'm thinking about too, yes. I heard you from somewhere. Yeah.
I've heard of you from somewhere. Exactly.
That's right.
You want people to say that about you.
Right. And you know what? I actually went to your website yesterday. I saw the video. It's very amazing that you actually spoke on Tony Robbins' stage. It's like, ooh.
Oh my God, it was amazing.
Ooh, that was a very great branding, man.
Thank you. He's so tall.
Oh, yes, 6'8", right? If I'm not wrong, or 7, close to 7.
Something like that.
Yeah.
You know, when he introduced me, it was so cute because he welcomed me and he took my hand, and I'm like, oh my God, his hand is so big and so tall. But it was a wonderful experience.
Yeah, that is a very good branding anyway. I love it. That actually inspired me. That's why I said, Jill, no matter what, I need to get you on this show. And really thank you for sharing with my audiences and myself. Although it is pretty late in Singapore, as I've told you, but I'm very, very interested, and I'm very excited to learn some very generous sharing you have. And I wish one day more Asian people who are willing to take the step to get known by other people. Because the traditional mindset that we have is actually a mindset called Confucius mindset. From Confucius mindset, we say that we must be humble, we are not bragging, we cannot tell people our wins, we cannot share the great things we do, just keep quiet and just do our thing. I mean, the Americans' concept about branding, about marketing, my coach said, is 10 years ahead of us. So long ago I accepted that. If I want to get known, I need to follow the American style. Thank you for confirming this, and I look forward to working with you one day. I have that intention. I hope that my audiences will be able to work with you as well. And once again, thank you for joining me in this show.
Thank you, Jack, for having me.
Okay, so let's conclude this show by saying, well, that's it. This is the end of the Cracking the Entrepreneur Code podcast show. This episode, I hope that you enjoy. As you know, I will go to bring on another entrepreneur which will share with you the wisdom, the intelligence, and experience to help you take your business to the next level. Until we next meet, Jack here. I'm signing off. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.
To continue cracking the Entrepreneur Code, subscribe for more episodes and download the Amazon bestseller, Cracking the Entrepreneur Code, 7 Tips to Build the Business You Always Wanted at crackingentrepreneur.com. Learn more about author and host Jack H.M. Wong and book your 30-minute discovery session to overcome any professional challenge at jackhmwong.com/apply.